All right, chat. So let's talk about the 10.2 news that we got, right? So first off, we got like 0 changes for Affliction, right? If we scroll, like, there's a lot of classes that got a lot of changes, which it gives me hope, but might just be pure copium. There's one little part I talked about earlier that this makes me sad, but they specifically said that the rotation for Shadow has a lot going on, and much of that blah 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 blah. But so we don't have that same opinion about Affliction. Everybody keeps just telling me that Shadow is an easier version of Affliction, and yet apparently it's got a lot going on. But okay, sure. So we'll scroll through all of these class changes because, you know, we don't care, and just get down to the ones we do care about. So Affliction literally only got a change to Grand Warlock's design so far. So far, that's all we've gotten. Which, personally, I don't think this does anything for us right now. I don't think this means you start playing Grand Warlock's design. I think it's a interesting idea. I'd be curious to know, but I think that's about what I was able to take off of Dark Lair most of the time anyways. Like, was about 30 seconds. So I think this is pretty similar in most cases. I play having Shadow just a range warrior. Yeah, I was playing Shadow yesterday, just getting like the transmog for it, and it seems significantly easier than Affliction, in my opinion, without knowing like all the ins and outs, right? I'm sure there's a bunch of like little things that you can, like little tiny things you can do, like little nitpicky things, but and be better. But I don't think it's anything significantly crazy as far as I've seen. There's a bunch of changes to Demo, because they specifically say Demonology's damage profile is currently too reliant on Nether Portal and Tyrant Windows, which I agree with that. In Guardian of the Dream, we're redistributing power to other parts of Demo's rotation and decoupling the synergy between those two cooldowns so that they can stand on their own rather than being dependent on one another. I'm still curious about how this is going to function, right? The decoupling of those. We'll see about that. We still want Nether Portal and Tyrant to be impactful, powerful cooldowns, but not source of meaning alpha. Okay, so Ambition has been redesigned. Nether Portal ends. Pit Lord serves for 10 seconds. What's it at currently? Like, what's the current? Is it like 15? Or is it 20? It's been a while since I played Demo. Okay, so summon the Pit Lord. Powerful. So it's no longer based upon how many demons you summon. It's just straight up lasts for 10 seconds now, right? That's it. And then Ground Design is no longer based upon how many shards you spend. It's just flat reduced by 30. Volition, demon summon from Nether Portal deal increased damage. So instead of just summoning extra demons, it just changes. It's just flat increased damage, right? Demonic Knowledge now has a 10% chance of causing hand gold and generate core. Okay, interesting. But there's also the Demonic Core is no longer baseline, right? So that means that it's like a talent now. Implosion deals 10% increased damage. Bioscourge Bombers deal 20% increased damage, and your spells now have a chance to summon Bioscourge Bomber. Okay. Tyrant has been redesigned. Summon Demonic Tyrant. Increase the duration of your Dreadstalker's Wild Fiend Felguard, and up to 10 of your Wild Imps for 15 seconds. Oh, is this a problem now? Your Demonic Tyrant increases the damage of affected demons by 15%. Okay. And they redesigned Tyranny again. How many times has this gone through changes, by the way? Active Wild Imps grant 1 stack of Demonic Servitude. Grant 3, up to 15. Oh, so they added a cap, right? That's basically the difference, is there's like a cap now. And it does 10% instead of 7. Right? Okay. Inner Demons no longer has a chance to summon an additional demon during combat. Demonic Core is no longer baseline. Demon Bolt now grants passive Demonic Core when learned. Okay, I get that. Just flat Shadow Bolt damage, flat Demon Bolt damage, flat Vile Fiend. The Destro stuff seems interesting. I think it's cool that they're actually focusing in on Madness, right? They're removing Madness entirely and introducing a new talent, Chaos Bringer, that increases the output of Chaos Bolt, Shadow Burn, and Rain of Fire. Additionally, we're adding damage to Chaos Bolt baseline, and then the new talent that's gonna, I'm assuming that's gonna replace where Madness was. Chaos Bolt damage increased by 8.5, Rain of Fire damage increased by 5.10, and the Shadow Burn, interesting. Chaos Ball damage increased by 15%, and Groundwalk design has been redesigned. I think this is pretty big too. Like, this basically just puts like a cap on how much you can reduce Tyrant now. I guess we'll see how it feels, but I think the days of like, you know, big Tyrant pulls and resetting are probably gone, right? And then Madness been removed, right? So I'm really hopeful that Affliction gets a couple more changes than just this, but we'll see. All right, let's talk about tier bonuses, I guess. So I am excited for Demo, and I am excited for Destro changes, and I'm very hopeful for Affliction changes. Let's talk about set bonuses, I guess. Looks like, I think Affliction set bonus looks pretty good, personally. So the 2-piece says Soul Rot deals 50% increased damage and lasts an additional 4 seconds, right? So, and then the 4-piece I think is what's gonna really kind of settle the idea that I have here. So right now it lasts for 8 seconds, right? So going up a little bit, not bad. And then the 4-piece says Soul Rot causes your next 3 casts of Rapture within 12 seconds to deal 50% increased damage. And then, like I was hoping for in the wishlist video, extend the duration of Agony, Corruption, UA, Haunt, Vile Taint, and Singularity by 2 seconds, right? The only thing that I think is interesting about this is it's the first 3 Raptures right after you rot, right? So I think that means that we're almost going to always run this whole row now. I think it's going to be a Soldier's Gluttony into Dark Harvest now, personally. Because the more times you can activate your tier, the better. And that's just, you know, the fastest way of activating that easily. So I definitely think we're running that all the time. And I think it's going to change. I'm going to definitely make a new guide for 10.2 if this is how everything stays. Because this is probably going to change the way that our setup starts now. You'll probably, especially in AoE too, you will like get all your dots rolling, and then you will Soul Rot, and then dump 3 Raptures, and then, you know, go into seed spam stuff. But I think this is really interesting. This, in my opinion, is a much better tier bonus than what we currently have. The Demonology one, Demon Bolt now applies a Doom brand that explodes after 20 seconds, dealing 79% spell power. Shadow damage to nearby enemies. Demon Bolt and Hand Damage reduce the duration of the primary target Doom brand. So basically, every time you Demon Bolt or Hand, it like reduces the timer, and so you can explode it quicker. Hand damage increased by 15%. When Doom brand explodes, you have a chance to summon a Doom Fiend that blasts your target for another 80% spell power. Interesting. Shadow damage every 3 for 15. Okay. So, I mean, I guess if this couples in with the Tyrant stuff, that's probably okay, right? But seems interesting. I don't know how good this is going to be. Compared to what Demo has right now, I don't know if this is enough. You know what I mean? We'll have to wait and see. Immolate damage increased by 20%. Immolate periodic damage has a chance to grant a charge of Dimensional Rift. That's right. Dimensional Rift is like coming in hard now, right? Dimensional Rift can now summon a powerful Flame Rift, which fires 20 Searing Bolts to deal fire damage to its target. It's like 25% of spell power. Additional 10% spell power. Okay. So, Mike, the thing I'm curious about this, do you have to run Dimensional Rift for this? You know what I mean? I'm assuming yeah. Because, like, we have to run Soul Rot for this, so I guess they don't have to run anything. Demo doesn't have to run anything special for theirs, but small little note here. Technically, Demo does have to run a talent for this, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be taking this talent normally anyways. It's just the Demon Bolt talent. We have to run something for ours, right? And I'm assuming you got to play Dimensional Rift for this. Personally, I think the Affliction one is the most interesting one to me. I guess we'll have to wait and see for the Demo one. But personally, the Affliction one has me the most excited. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? We have the dungeon pool for next season. That's pretty exciting, right? So the dungeon pool is going to be the 2 mega dungeons. Darkheart Thicket, Blacker Cold, which I legitimately forgot that it was on this list. Waycrest, which I am very excited for. Atal Dazar, I'm pretty excited for. Well, I'm a little leery. We'll see. I'm hopeful because this was a great dungeon before. Everbloom has me extremely worried, and Throne of Tides, we'll have to see. We'll definitely be playing some PTR keys, hopefully, and we'll find out what we think of those. But I think as far as the dungeon pool is concerned right now, I'm extremely hopeful compared to what we have right now. Somebody who was asking, Divert, do you think the new dungeons will be good for apps? So these 2, the mega dungeons, I've only done once. Like, I may have been in there another time, but like I have not done these enough to really know, but I don't remember it feeling bad as Affliction. I don't remember any too like crazy like hard damage swaps like we have right now. Darkheart Thicket, I was going over this last night. I don't think there's any crazy swap scenarios that we have. Speaking of swap, by the way, there was another change that I noticed in here that I didn't see mentioned anywhere, and it has to do with Soul Swap. So it says right here, Soul Swap copies your damage over time effects and Haunt. I thought it already did this, but apparently it doesn't. I don't know. I swear to God, I thought Soul Swap already did that. Quick little note here, I was right. Soul Swap already does this. This is just a change in the wording. But if that's not, I mean, that's a good change, right? Decent change. There's also a change to Rapture, but this essentially works out to be the same damage. That they just changed the way it's factored or whatever. And then there's like some PvP stuff. But I'm pretty excited for these dungeons. Blackrook, I have to go back over the bosses in there, but I don't remember there being too many like damage swaps, which is usually our biggest problem. I don't remember there being anything too crazy about Blackrook as far as damage swaps are concerned. There's some sketchy trash in there for sure though. Waycrest kind of has a damage swap with the Coven. However, I don't think it's the same kind of like format as like the previous ones, because ideally you'll just keep all of them dotted with at least Agony and Corruption, and then you'll just move like your main dots around to like whichever one is focused, right? Which theoretically should be really good for us, because then we'll just be generating even more shards, right? So we'll see. Atal is a similar thing. There's an add on last boss, but it's not like the same way that we have to deal with like the add in Vortex Pinnacle or the add in Brackenhide, right? Or like the Totem in Brackenhide. Like you still want to swap damage to it, but it's not like the end of the world. Second to last boss in there is 2 mobs, right? In Waycrest. Yeah, but one is like on the like stage, and the other one like that you fight the whole time. But it's not really a damage swap again. You know what I mean? Like I think that's actually good for us, because then we're kind of, you know what I mean? Everbloom, I don't remember like half of this dungeon. I've really only ever done this thing in Time Walking. And then Throne of Tides, I guess, will remain to be seen. We'll find out more as soon as we can test these on the PTR, and we'll definitely be doing that, so keep an eye out for those. The Creation Catalyst being available literally week 1 is pretty sweet, honestly. I'm excited about that. The only thing is I don't know, like, basically, so we'll get a charge, like, week 2 or week 3, I guess, right? The only thing it says we'll get a charge once every 2 weeks, so does the 2 week moment start that Tuesday, or does it start you know what I mean? The following Tuesday? I don't know. Either way, I think it's really cool that we get the Catalyst very, very early on. Nerfs to PI and Master Spell, I guess we can talk about real quick too. There's a bunch of other like class changes, so you should definitely go read all this stuff if you're interested in this. We're not talking about these guys, but we will talk about PI being nerfed, right? So Power Infusion haste reduced to 20% instead of 25, and the duration was reduced to 15 instead of 20. Power Infusion has proved to be too impactful due to how it stacks with cooldowns and special haste, and they excel at dealing damage in short windows, which I do think it's kind of funny that we're now doing this. How long has Power Infusion been a problem, man? Like, seriously. We're reducing its duration and amplitude to balance our burst classes and keep them more in line with steady state dealers, okay? And then the other big one, Master Spell cooldown is now 2 minutes, was 45. I'm really interested specifically in this about bursting. Because I think the bigger question is, I find it very interesting that it's 2 minutes. A lot of classes are 2 minutes. And a lot of big pulls happen, you know, sometimes around 2 minutes. So maybe, you know, throughout the dungeon, you just maybe combine some pulls in different places to get that Master Spell value. I don't know. I personally would still like a change to bursting just in general. I kind of think maybe we should go back to like undispellable bursting, but like cap it at so many stacks, you know? Yeah. I think it will be worse, but I would really like, you know, it's a good step. The other thing that I'm really curious to see is, what do the dungeons look like with like things like bleeds and stuff like that, right? Or things that need to be dispelled. Because that was one of the other reasons why Master Spell was so good this season. Was just so many spots for like, you need to dispel a bunch of people at once. And same with like why dwarf racial was so good this season, right? Like some of these bleeds or these other effects were just so strong that like having more than one option to remove them was like a really big deal. So I can't think of too many of those in some of the BFA dungeons. I remember there's some stuff in Atoll that's pretty scary. There's like a dot in Atoll that's pretty scary, but I don't remember too much about it. So I'm looking forward to the PTR on that. Was there anything else that I missed, chat? Was there anything else that I missed that you guys want to talk about? I'm not going to go through and read all the class changes because I don't play those classes. I think we covered everything, though. I think we covered everything. Basically, I'm just hopeful that we get some more affliction changes. You know what I'm saying? I'm hopeful that with the like sheer walls of changes for classes that we get to see. Oh, they data mined class trinkets or weapons and raid trinkets. Okay, let's take a look at those real quick. Let's take a look at those. Also, that was brought up too. 4 dungeons have 39-minute timers. Waycrest can be the exception, but I'm not looking forward to that. Okay, let's take a look at these real quick then. This is just fresh, crispy, right off the press, dude. Okay. Let's see what this one. This is the only one we really care about, right? Your abilities have a chance to draw on the corruption within, dealing an additional 19,000 shadow flame damage to you and your target. Damage increased by 400% against targets above 90%. Okay, that's a mace. Interesting. So that would not be for us. But it looks like it's the same effect. Oh, it's the same effect for everybody. Oh, nope. It's the same effect for these. That's interesting. Is there more? So wait, there's 2 different melee ones, but then there's... Okay. Save your target for shadow flame damage, carve a piece of their dreams. That's fucking rad. That sounds rad as shit. What? Assuming it to gain a benefit based on the creature's type for 60 minutes. What? That's really cool. Your damaging melee abilities have a low... Like, this plus, like, the rogue reworks might be a fucking rogue meta again, dude. I don't know how good this will be. I just mean, you know, anybody who gets a rework, I feel like they just become the meta. You can check the tapes on that one. Okay, trinkets. Looks like I'm not really interested in those ones, so we're just going to cruise on right past those. Okay. Healing an ally below 85 grants, then blossom mental healing, blah, blah, blah. Effect may occur once. If the target is fully healed, effect expires, blossom spreads. Okay. 1 minute cooldown is cool. Okay. Unleash a solar maelstrom, slowing yourself and nearby enemies before erupting in flames of 2 seconds, deal 300. So this is the new beacon, right? Castable while moving. Damage increase per... Yeah, this is literally the new beacon. Summon a wisp every 3 seconds that seeks out nearby enemies to apply Weaver's score in seconds to 5 times, dealing 318 nature damage before fading away. Wisp prioritize enemies that have yet to be scorned. Use channel for 2.5 seconds. I don't like that. Clean the distance of all scorned enemies, granting 270 mastery per stack consumed, up to 5. And deal nature damage. This is a lot of damage. 2 minute cooldown. How much mastery is that, chat? So 217 times 5, right? 1,000? 1,085 mastery? For a 2.5 second channel, I don't know if that's enough. Okay. What else we got? Draw power from the remnants of the Ember Soul, gaining 3,000 primary stat for 20 seconds. Okay, now you're talking my language. Once the effect ends, become burned out, losing 600 haste. For recovering, circumstances are dire. Your soul ignites, granting this bonus again without decaying. Oh, that's pretty interesting. With haste baseline too. Replant the ceiling, attempt to put out its flames for 12 seconds, healing, ceiling, nothing heals. Okay, another healing trinket. Taking damage from nearby enemies causes counterattack. Primary guaranteeing 11. Primary stat and stacking 30 times. Okay, so this is kind of like... it's like more of like a melee trinket, right? Unless I'm reading it wrong. At 30 stacks of Rising Rage, gain Fury Yerktos. 8 seconds before consuming them, counterattacking all blows and regenerating. Interesting. Or is this like a tank trinket? This is a tank trinket, right? Your spells and abilities have a low chance to grant Annihilating Flame for 30 seconds, causing crits to deal 30% additional damage as fire splits between enemies. Okay, so this is just gonna be a fucking. This is this is like a Destro trinket, right? Crit strikes deal 30% additional damage as fire. Join the Dream Team. Gaining 235 mastery and verse and crit. So wait, this is the new. This is like the new Echo or whatever, right? Or like just like the normal trinket essence or whatever we have now. That's basically what this is. Interesting. Okay, so there's no like massive trinket. At least not that I'm seeing. Nothing like the class trinket or anything like that. Like Beacon seems interesting, right? But there's nothing like class trinket where it's this like far and away thing. This one seems interesting. It's also a 2-minute. So that's good. And getting 3,000 primary stat seems fine, and losing some haste for it is whatever, I think. We'll see. I think the one I'm more interested in, though, is the... we know for a fact they mentioned that there's going to be new items in some of the dungeons. Like specifically Throne, there's going to be new items in there that weren't in there before. So I guess if there might be something interesting in there. But until then, I think one of our best trinkets is probably going to be Balefire Branch. If you don't remember Balefire. But it drops from Waycrest. And it's got Mastery on it, and then it gives you a bunch of Intellect. With a 1-minute, 30-second cooldown. Like, this... this might be very interesting, so we'll see. We'll see. Especially with the Grand Warlock's design thing, because that would make it line up exactly with Dark Lair, right? I don't know. Could be interesting. Could be interesting, chat. Okay. Was there anything else, chat? Went over class changes. Went over tier set bonus. We went over the new dungeons that we're excited for. Catalyst being available week 1, but probably not going to be able to turn anything into tier until week 2 or 3. We went over the new raid trinkets and weapons. Everything looks pretty exciting. Hopefully we will get our hands on some dungeons and stuff on the PTR real soon, honestly. I'm excited for that. So hopefully you guys are excited for that, chat. I'm still hopeful that we're going to see more changes. And like I said, you know, I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot more things to come. So hopefully. But either way, the Affliction stuff looks pretty cool. I'm excited. I do think we're going to be playing Dark Harvest mandatory, though. At the very least, I think we're always going to be playing Soul Eater's Gluttony. Always. You might not take this point, but at the very least, we're taking this. Which, you know, I don't know where the other point would really go. I think you're kind of just... You would probably just go here no matter what. But it does give you a little floater point. But at the very least, you're taking this every time. If that tier stays the same way.